Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 959, we're going to get into Lord of the Rings. I know this is the first Lord of the Rings deck that I have shown y'all. Trust me, I have built many. There are, seems like a million more to come. I have always been a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I remember back, a buddy invited me over to play Halo, and I left his house and went and bought an Xbox, Halo, the little remote control kit, and my very first DVD ever, Lord of the Rings. So, yeah. Anyway, today we are starting off with the Witch King of Angmar. They did a lot of really good flavor-wise in this set. I'll get to that as I see it on cards and, give you crazy stories like that. But there were a few misses. We'll get to those too. But the Witch King is a 5-mana, 5/3 flying. Okay, makes sense. Whenever one or more creatures you control, wrong. Whenever one or more creatures deal combat damage to you, each opponent sacrifices a creature that dealt combat damage to you this turn, then the ring tempts you. Now, the ring tempting is, I've got it over here. It's a little token. There's very little downside to the ring. I mean, there's a few cards, but that's not much. And of course, you can discard a card to make the Witch King indestructible to end of turn, and it taps. Not bad. So what I decided to go with was creature removal. I mean, we got some creatures too, but I wanted, because if something hits you, it's going to die. They have to sacrifice it, right? So I went full tilt into let's get rid of opponent's creatures. Sure, we'll start off with some theme. The Dingus Staff. Obviously, everybody, you take 2 when a creature dies. Grave Betrayal. Creature you don't control dies, it becomes yours. It's a zombie. Siegwarth the Dark Baron. Great card. Another creature dies, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters. Venom Crawler from the 40k set, because let's just cross all the streams, right? Gets a +1/+1 counter every time another creature dies. Camber. Gain a life, create a blood. Ogre Slumlord. You get a rat. Blood Artist. Small 1 point. But yeah, you see what I'm getting at. It is all about killing my opponent's creatures and then, win with mine. So let's look at our ramp, shall we? We're playing mono black, so I put in a Dark Ritual. Soul Ring. I was lucky enough to get the actual black commander Soul Ring. Thought Vessel, Gauntlet of Power, Charcoal Diamond, Commander Sphere. I know Commander Sphere seems like a weird include for like monocolor decks. I was trying to get that glare off. But it sacks to draw a card, Gilded Lotus and then Heraldic Banner. Give us an actual black mana and then, +1 to our team for our troubles. We don't have a whole lot of card draw because I use so much space on removal. Probably not a good idea, I know. But I do have a Night's Whisper, Season, the Perverter of Truth, because, drawing 2, and then Call of the Ring. Now, I have some other weird stuff here that I'll show you before I get into the creatures. I call it weird stuff. It's not really weird. You know what I'm talking about. Diabolic Tutor, Swiftfoot Boots. I put in a Darkness because you know what? It fits the theme. It's very Nazgul-ish. And sometimes a one-turn fog can win you the game. If they tap out and you fog and they have no blockers and the crackback can eliminate them. Sometimes that happens. A lot of times that happens, actually. Victimize. Sam's Desperate Rescue. Bring a creature back. The ring tempts you. Crypt Incursion. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard. You gain 3 life for each card exiled this way. Now, there are, here again, graveyard management is key. Because there are decks out there that you can kill all their creatures and you're doing them a favor. You're loading up their graveyard. And this kind of helps prevent that. We have Nurgle's Conscription, because why not, right? Put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control, then exile their yard. So you get to exile their yard and steal one of their dead creatures. Hey, not a bad deal for 5 mana. And then we have the Shadow of the Enemy. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard. You may cast those. You may cast spells from among those cards as long as they remain exiled. You can spend mana like it didn't matter. That's pretty good, right? So let's get into our creatures. Before we get any further, there is a mechanic in Lord of the Rings. I say mechanic. It's a card called the Nazgul. Obviously, you may have a deck can have up to 9 cards named Nazgul. I only had 9, so I had to pick which deck I wanted it in. So it was obviously this one. It had to be the Witch King, right? 3 mana, 1/2 Death Touch. Enters the battlefield. The ring tempts you. You kind of want the ring. Whenever the ring tempts you, put a 1/1 counter on each wraith you control. So here's the beautiful part. They did 9 different arts. Now I don't have 9 different arts. I have some duplicates, I think. Yeah. But we'll show you all 9. Nazgul 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's our Nazgul. Okay, so we are going to be killing stuff, so we want the Mortifor. Power and toughness equals number of dead creatures in all yards. That's beautiful. Roll Assassin. I know it's funny, it's almost meme-ish at this point, but it can slow a game down because creatures tap when they're declared as attackers, so before they ever hit, you can just assassin them. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. Now we get rid of that glare. Still a little more tilted than I would like. I need to get back in my studio. I need to build a studio here. That's what I need to do. Update. Gonna build a new studio. Grima Wormtongue. I figured had to be in there. I also love that your opponents can't gain life. Gary. That's just a great card in mono black, Phyrexian Obliterator. Talk about another creature that will stop people from attacking you. And yes, we have the Nazgul, so we had to have the Ring Wraiths. We have the Orcish Bowmaster. Now, this is the hot card. Well, one of the several hot cards from the set. Orcish Bowmaster has made its waves in, I think, every format it's legal in, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's really raining hard here today, folks. I don't know when y'all are going to see this, but it is raining. We have Sauron the Necromancer. Shard of the Void Dragon. Because why not, right? Each opponent sacrifices a permanent. Okay. Whenever an artifact is put to a graveyard from the battlefield or exiled. Yeah. Sheoldred. The new Sheoldred. And then lastly, don't make fun of me, Nightmare. Here again, we're playing mono black. So we have a lot of forests. Now, we have our removal. I kind of lumped all of these together, but since y'all just saw that Shieldred, we'll show you the OG Shieldred. I mean, why not, right? At the beginning of their upkeep, they have to sack a creature. Okay. Of course, we've got the Doom Blade, Feed the Swarm. Flesh Bag is perfect for the deck. I kind of almost went like Flesh Bag Tribal because there's so many of them. I have two. I have that one, and I have the Merciless Executioner. Go for the throat. The Mandate of Abaddon is pretty good. Destroy, all creatures with power less than that creature. Sure. Claim the Precious. That was one thing that bothered me about this set is there was an absence of double-sided cards. Now, y'all know I don't like double-sided cards. But in this set, it would have been perfect, to have a Smeagol on one side, Gollum on the other, Gandalf the Gray on one, and then Gandalf the White, good Saruman, bad Saruman. I mean, there would have been King Strider and then King of Gondor. It could have alleviated so many duplication because we don't need 2 Eomers and 37 Gandalfs. We just didn't need it in the set. There was too many legends. Now, that's me. I know, I say that a lot, but there's a lot of legends nowadays. But I hear they're going to slow down. So, Demon of Loathing, combat damage, they sack a creature. Decree of Pain, I mean, that's it. Just boom, get them gone, and I'm going to draw some cards. Bitter Downfall. Ether Snap is a card that I put in here because I feel like this lesson needs to be taught again. It's a card that not a lot of people know exists. I don't have it in a lot of decks that I currently am playing at the moment, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to put Ether Snap out there, and we're going to wreak havoc on counters and tokens. Because, hey, that new Commodore Guff Planeswalker deck's out there, so there's going to be a lot of Planeswalker decks. The Eldrazi deck, the alternate commander for it, you want to be a proliferate deck, so here again, I think Ether Snap, its stock is rising, I believe. Mutilate, I mean mono black, the Black Breath. This will surprisingly kill more cards than you think it will. -1/-1, it totally will. And then Isindur's Fateful Strike. Now, I'm going to read this card and I'm going to tell you why it's one of my favorites. Not because, 4 mana, legendary instant. You got to have a, legendary creature to cast it, right? Or a walker. Destroy target creature. If its controller has more than 4 cards in hand, they exile from their hand equal to the difference. Now, here's why I love this card. The flavor. Because Isildur was the heir to the throne when that final battle happened. His father died, the sword was broke, Sauron stepped on it, and the son grabs the shards of Narsil and reaches up and cuts the ring off of Sauron's hand. He cuts his finger off to do it, right? And what did that do? It killed Sauron into the Second Age, whatever. This card destroys target creature. That shows him destroying Sauron. And then it reduces their hand to 4. To 4, people. Because he cut off a finger. Oh, it's so good. The flavor is so good. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to non-basic lands now. Polluted Mire. The Dross Pits. Draw a card, why not? The Tomb Fortress. Mill 4, return a creature, sure. The Black Gate. Pay 3 life, it enters tapped. Choose a player with the most life or tied for the most life. Target creature can't be blocked by creatures that player controls this turn. So that is really good. And then we have Barad-dûr. It's a land that just makes one of your creatures bigger. Now, granted, it's an orc token, but hey, that's fine. There are many, many turns that we have had where we just have leftover mana, and it'd be cool to do something with it. Oh, something died on your turn? I have leftover mana? Okay, not a problem. Well, that is the Witch King of Angmar. I do appreciate y'all watching. I know I kind of get a little long-winded. Y'all have to forgive me on this Lord of the Rings stuff. It is a very passionate IP for me. I know I'm not going to feel passionate about all the IPs because there's some that's coming out that I know literally nothing about. So, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I appreciate y'all so much for watching, and as always, thank you so much to the patrons for all y'all that like and subscribe and share, and our friends over at Dragon Shield, and thank y'all so much. It's nice to know that I'm not just shouting out into the void. But until next time, it's time to shuffle and cut.